It was pouring rain that night, the kind of storm that turns streets into rivers and makes everyone rethink their plans. I was at the office late, finishing up a project with my boss, Elena. She's always been professional, sharp, and intimidating in the best way. Dark hair, confident stride, the type who commands a room without trying. We were the last two in the building when the alert started buzzing on our phones. Severe flooding, roads closed, public transport shut down. Elena looked out the window, sighed, and said it was impossible for her to get home across town. I lived just a few blocks away, so without thinking too much, I offered her my place for the night. She hesitated at first, but the thunder cracked loudly, and she nodded. We grabbed our things and dashed through the rain, arriving soaked at my apartment door. I fumbled with the keys while she laughed about how unprepared we both were. Inside it was warm and dry, but the tension from the office suddenly felt different in this personal space. I handed her a towel and showed her to the bathroom so she could dry off. My apartment isn't huge. One bedroom, a living room with a couch that pulls out into a bed, and a small kitchen. I apologized for the mess. There were books scattered and a half-finished puzzle on the coffee table. Elena smiled and said it felt cozy, nothing like her sterile high-rise. I offered her dry clothes, an oversized t-shirt and sweatpants from my drawer. She emerged looking surprisingly relaxed, hair damp and loose, no makeup, just natural. We stood in the kitchen as I made hot tea to warm us up. The storm raged outside, lightning flashing through the windows. Conversation started light, complaining about the weather, then drifting to work frustrations we usually kept bottled up. She opened up about the pressure of leading the team, how exhausting it could be. I listened, surprised at her vulnerability. We moved to the living room with our tea. I set up the pull-out couch for her while insisting I'd take the floor or the armchair. She refused, saying guests shouldn't displace the host. Eventually, we compromised. I'd share the couch bed platonically, with pillows as a barrier. It felt awkward at first, but the rain pounding on the roof made silence impossible. She asked about my life outside work, things I'd never shared in the office. I told her about growing up in a small town, my love for hiking, failed attempts at cooking. She laughed genuinely, sharing stories from her early career, mistakes she'd made climbing the ladder. The power flickered a few times, heightening the intimacy of the moment. Outside, sirens wailed as emergency services dealt with the chaos. As the night deepened, the conversation turned personal. Elena admitted she didn't have many close friends in the city. Work consumed everything. I confessed feeling overshadowed at the office sometimes, always trying to prove myself to her. She looked surprised, saying she admired my dedication and creativity more than I knew. The power seemed to strip away hierarchies. She stretched out on the couch, propping her head on a pillow, and said softly, "You know, in here tonight, away from everything, it doesn't feel like the office." I nodded, heart beating faster. The room was dimly lit by a single lamp, shadows dancing with each lightning strike. We talked about dreams and regrets. Elena shared how she'd sacrificed relationships for her career, wondering if it was worth it. I opened up about a recent breakup, how hard it was to balance work and life. There was a comfort in confessing these things to someone who understood ambition. She reached for her tea, brushing my hand accidentally, and neither pulled away immediately. The air felt charged, not just from the storm. She turned toward me, eyes reflecting the lamplight, and said, "Thank you for this. I didn't realize how much I needed a break from being the boss." Midnight passed, but sleep evaded us. The rain eased to a steady patter. Alina suggested we watch something mindless to unwind, a movie on my laptop since the TV signal was out. We chose an old comedy, propping the screen on the coffee table. Laughter filled the room, breaking any remaining tension. During a quiet scene, she shifted closer, our shoulders touching. I didn't move away. She whispered commentary on the film, her breath warm near my ear. It was innocent, yet electric. The movie ended, but we kept talking. She asked if I ever felt attracted to coworkers, hypothetically. I laughed nervously, admitting it happened but was complicated. Her gaze lingered. "Complications can be worth it sometimes," she murmured. My mind raced. This was my boss, yet here she was human, approachable. The pillow barrier seemed ridiculous now. She yawned, saying we should try to sleep, but neither made a move to turn off the light. Lying side by side in the dark, the storm a distant rumble, silence enveloped us. Then she spoke. "Don't call me your boss tonight." The words hung heavy, transformative. My pulse quickened. I turned toward her voice. "Okay, Elena," I said, testing it. She smiled in the shadows. Her hand found mine under the covers, fingers intertwining naturally. No rush, just connection. We talked in whispers now, closer than before. She shared fears of loneliness at the top. I admitted admiring her strength, but seeing her softer side changed everything. Our faces inches apart, breath mingling. She traced my palm lightly, sending shivers. The boundary dissolved slowly, mutually. A gentle kiss followed, tentative then deeper, tasting of key and rain. The kiss ignited something held back for months, maybe years of professional glances. Hands explored cautiously over clothes, respecting the newness. Whispers of consent, reassurance. Clothes shed gradually, vulnerability matching the storm's earlier fury, now calmed to tenderness. Bodies pressed, warmth contrasting the cool sheets. Time blurred in exploration, learning curves, gasps, laughter at awkward moments. She was confident, yet yielding, guiding without commanding. I matched her pace, focused on mutual pleasure. The apartment filled with soft sounds, rain a soothing backdrop. Peaks came in waves, intense and shared. Afterward, we lay entangled, breathing, sinking. She rested her head on my chest, fingers drawing patterns on my skin. No regrets voiced, only contentment. Sleep crept in finally, arms wrapped securely. Morning light filtered through curtains, storm cleared. Birds chirped outside. I woke first, watching her sleep peacefully. Reality loomed. What now? She stirred, smiling sleepily. "Good morning," she said, no title implied. We kissed lazily, postponing the world. Coffee brewed in the kitchen, wearing minimal clothes. Conversation careful. What happened was beautiful, but work complicated things. She suggested discretion, seeing where it led naturally. Agreement came easily, no pressure. Breakfast improvised. Toast, fruit, laughter recalled night's highlights. Showers taken separately, dressing in yesterday's clothes. The walk to the office would be together, but as colleagues again. Leaving the apartment felt bittersweet. Straits cleared, city recovering. Side by side on the sidewalk, professional distance resumed subtly. Yet stolen glances promised more. At the office, everything appeared normal. Meetings, emails, but undercurrents shifted. Lingering looks, private smiles. Texts later that day hinted at repetition soon. Days turned weeks, secret meetings after hours. Balance delicate but thrilling. She remained my boss publicly, Elena privately. Challenges arose, jealousy whispers, stress of hiding. Communication kept us grounded, honest about feelings evolving deeper. Reflecting back, that storm changed everything. One night of vulnerability sparked something real. We navigated carefully, prioritizing respect and joy. The title's words marked the beginning of us, beyond roles, into genuine connection.